common trend I've been noticing in my game since CS2 came out is that a large percentage of the new players don't understand how to play the most popular map. So I thought I'd make a quick video to help you learn how to play the map correctly and win more games. This is in no way the most in-depth or infallible guide to Mirage. Instead, we'll be focusing on more general themes and basic strategies that are usually the right play. Oftentimes, the off-meta plays are correct, and good team cooperation and communication trumps everything I'm going to say. If you'd like more in-depth analysis of the map, I would watch either pro matches or pro gameplay breakdowns that explain the intricacies of each position. Starting off with CT, the default setup is to have one player A, one player connector, one mid window, one catwalk, and one B. So, how do you choose which position to play? Well, typically, your team's best riflers should be playing catwalk and connector as they're the map's hotspots. Your support player is best suited as the A anchor, the opper should start mid window and then be the rotator, and lastly, the IGL should be posted up jump spawning on B, as it is usually the quieter site and can allow him to focus more on mid-round calling. Now that you have your positions, we can talk about some basic plays that will hopefully get you kills and map control. On A site, there are two pieces of util that you need to throw on every round. First is the ramp molly. Throw it correctly, aim between these two windows as you're running onto site. The molly will bank into ramp, and the fire's peak will block any terrorist view of the site. The other nade is a mid flash. The player who didn't throw the molly should flash mid by yeeting one right over the stairs. This will help your opper a lot, as it will temporarily blind and delay the T's mid push. I prefer to have the A anchor throw the molly and the con player to throw the flash. By doing this, your con player can save his molly for either mid box or underpass, but as long as you're throwing both, you'll be fine. After dumping util, the A player has a choice to make: play from one of the various spots on site, or play from ticket. It is important to switch up spots to avoid pre-fires, so try not to play the same spot 3 rounds in a row. The connector player, you can continue to help your window player by peeking mid from either above or below. When your IGL calls for it, or there's no contact mid, you can consider either pushing top mid with a flash or checking underpass. Late round, you should typically be playing from con and holding underpass. Moving over to mid window, peeking mid with the op is usually a good idea. If you can't afford one and like the scout, the AUG is also a good choice. If they smoke you off, dumping your util top mid will deny the T space and allow your teammates to get some easy kills. Another alternative is to use your frag to do what I call the mono-C frag. Ts will rarely expect this and it can usually result in a clean kill. If you don't want to do that, rotating A or B early is a good idea. I like to peek palace from jungle or B apps from market. If you have good coordination, you can rotate to ticket booth and tell your A anchor to push either palace or ramp. You don't need to stay mid too long if you don't get contact. Just call out that you're leaving, and your cat and con players should be able to hold it pretty easily. Speaking of cat, I feel like it's a very underutilized position in pugs. Playing is quite simple once you've learned a couple of nades. Throwing a delayed mid flash can help out your window and con players deny space. I like to throw a smoke right here, and then peek from either the side or jump up on the fence after checking underpass. If you want, you can throw a molly in underpass so you don't have to worry too much about it. If the Tisa smoked you off and you don't want to peek, try jumping on up into ladder room and help contesting mid from there. If it's a B rush, you can fall back, molly and frag apps, then hold from get right or pillar. Also consider throwing a molly right below the drop if the T's are already past you. Now for the easiest position to play, the B anchor. Most people throw a molly or smoke in apps at the beginning of the round, but it isn't really necessary as your cat player can usually hear a rush coming early. I like saving my nades for when it's a confirmed push or to help me take space late round in apps. Holding from jail, bench, or site can usually net you a kill and allow your teammates to get an easy retake. If your cat player doesn't call out a push, jump spawning is the best thing you can do. Occasionally pushing into apps can help catch the T's off guard, but be careful doing this, as once you die, the site will fall pretty easily. And that's all for the CT side. Like I mentioned earlier, these positions aren't set in stone, and finding something you're comfortable and competent in is more important than the meta. For T side, we're going to go over a default setup and a couple of nades. Typically, a T default will look like 2A, 2 mid, and 1 B. A players can go both ramp or split palace. You don't want a palace stack as you won't be able to smoke site and you'll have to expose yourself to multiple angles at once to exit. With the new changes to smokes in CS2, the old stairs smoke lineup is actually quite bad as it allows CTs to jump down into sandwich and get some backstab kills. So this is the new lineup. It takes a little bit longer to develop, but is worth the wait. Comboing this with the jungle smoke is a necessity for any A execute. For ticket, you can either molly or smoke it, it doesn't really matter too much. I prefer to use a molly and then push CT once it fades. If you get out to Tetris, there's still more nades you can throw to put pressure on the CTs. Here's an additional Tick Booth and Jungle Smoke lineup, and you can throw these mollies to hit under Palace and default. Try to avoid sitting in Tetris, as it is quite easy for CTs to push and kill you. If you can, try to plant for ramp and take control of either CT or jungle. If you get control of one, it becomes nearly impossible for a CT retake. Now for the mid players, you can smoke window, top mid, or both. Most players recommend throwing the window smoke nearly every round, but the top mid smoke can help get players out mid if you're struggling. Other grenades to throw are a window flash, valley flash, and a connector molly or smoke. Try to keep moving and avoid getting stuck back behind the mid box. From mid, you should be trying to put pressure on the cat and con players and help flank the site you're executing. Hopping in ladder room or boosting in window are good ways to catch unsuspecting CTs off guard. This lastly brings us to B site. As a T, always be careful of a CT pushing up from underpass on a flank. A good B attack relies completely on your mid player's ability to get up cat. Without their support, any execute is going to be significantly harder. For util, try smoking market window and door, mollying bench, and using a couple flashes to overwhelm the defenders. In post plant, having a player in apps, market, or up cat is a must, as it will slow down the CTs and force them to clear more angles or risk being flanked. And boom, now you've learned to play Mirage at the most basic level. There's far more to this map than I mentioned, but hopefully this video taught you something new. If you want to see more guides like this, leave a like, subscribe, and comment the next map or topic you want to see. Also check out these other videos YouTube thinks you'll like.